Hi, everybody. My name is Andrea Hack, and I will be your moderator today. I'm the branded content editor for The Next Web, and today we'll be hosting Tcube's latest event on enhancing business growth and visitor experience with innovative technology. Now, just hold on for just a second. I think we will just be getting our slides up. There we go. Now, as you can see, we have a great lineup of speakers for you today. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Tcube. Now, Tcube is a hybrid innovation space created by Singapore Tourism Board to support tourism businesses in their digital transformation journey by providing resources, content, and both physical and digital events such as this. Now, today we will specifically be focusing on how you can leverage new technologies like digital payments, customer feedback, and also live streaming with video. Now, we have 4 experts lined up today. I'd love to introduce you to them all. Let me just pull up the slide here. So we have Chi-Kong Chen, who is COO of Global Tix. We have Kenneth Tan, who is co-founder and CEO of BeLive Technology. Youngman W, who is the VP of Key Accounts and Partnerships at BeLive Technology, and also Bram Harnets, who is the co-founder and CEO of VCall. Now, before we start our sessions off, I'd first like to include you, our audience, in the conversation by launching a very quick poll, which should show up on your screen in a second. So have you already implemented digital wallets as a payment method in your tourism or travel business? You'll see a pop-up now where you can answer. Okay, great. So just going through the answers here, 36% of you have successfully implemented digital wallets. 21% have not, but are actively considering implementing digital wallets. And 21% do not have any plans yet to implement digital wallets. So this next presentation will be very interesting for all of you. I would love to welcome to the stage Chi-Kong, who will be telling us a little bit about the evolving trends in digital wallets and how you can take advantage of those. Chi, welcome to the stage.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you very much. And also thank you to STB for inviting me to this Tcube event. A very good afternoon to all of you. I think there's quite a big bunch of you out there listening to me now. So really, my name is CK. Some of you might already know me, but some of you might not. I'm the COO of Global Tix. And today I'm just going to share with you, some of our trends that we see in digital payments. Just by way of introduction, Global Tix itself we are a ticketing platform where we power some of the attractions in Singapore, such as Museum of Ice Cream, Trick Eye Museum in their digitization journey. If you go to their website today, you buy a ticket from them, it is all coming through our Global Tix platform, right? And here we wanted to really share to you why we feel that digital payments or digital wallet payments are very important and some of the trends that we are seeing. So if I may, next page, please. All of us know travel is international. We travel around internationally, and yet payments are very, very local. I'm sure you have experienced the fact that your Grab wallet in Singapore is not able to be used in Thailand, and you can only pay by cash or credit card when you want to book a Grab in Thailand. Likewise, there are many other payments that are all local payments. For those of you who has already adopted digital wallets, that's a very good first step. But for those of you who are considering or have not considered adopting digital wallets, maybe the next few slides will help you rethink a little bit and why you should be thinking about digital wallets. Next, please. According to some of the things that we are all understanding through this period of time, digital wallet payments are a very big changing trend today. One of it, some of the key drivers of this change is really increasing penetration of mobile phones. A grand total of 86% of the world population has a mobile phone. And that is by far bigger than the population of people who owns a credit card. The second, particularly in Asia, the rise of the super apps, such as the WeChat, the Tencent, the Ali, the Grab, and the Go.to platform has made it very convenient for people to pay via their wallets. And that's making it really powerful. The third thing is limited banking access. Some of you might be familiar, may not be as applicable to those of us in Singapore, but for those people in Indonesia, actually opening a bank account is way harder than opening a wallet. Just to give you a context, what it takes to open a wallet in Indonesia, all you need is to have a mobile phone address, a mobile phone number. You apply to Gojek to say, I want to be a merchant, or you want to be a consumer, verify through an OTP, your wallet in GoPay wallet will be activated. Whereas if you walk to the bank and open a banking account, that potentially takes you weeks in order to get you access to a banking account. And finally, the COVID catalyst is actually also a big driver to adopting wallet. I often joke about this, but one of the fastest catalysts for India to adopt Paytm or a mobile wallet was that there was an urban legend that COVID was passed through by handling a note or cash where people has a COVID and they can spread. And immediately everyone has gone to a digital wallet. Today, if you go to India or you go to Thailand, even the street hawkers are asking you to pay by a wallet. So that in itself, wallets are going to be key in our part of the world. And the next slide, please. That also means that there is a potential generational shift in payment methods. When we were growing up, cash was the main mode of payment. Now, last 10, 15 years, cards was a major part. But going forward, I think digital wallets is going to be really key. And this is evident by what I'm going to share with you, some of the statistics in the next page. Next, please. Globally, according to an FIS World Pay report, in Asia Pacific, digital and mobile wallets actually contribute 69% of all payment methods, e-commerce payment methods in the world. Of course, this is heavily skewed by China, but I will break down the country data for you in a short bit. And this is only expected to grow to 72% by 2025, right? Likewise, you can see where charge card and credit card charge, they are very small proportion of the payment case. So next, please. This is what I was trying to say here. By 2025, digital wallets is going to grow to 72%, whereas credit cards in general, maybe credit or debit cards is going to be a mere 20%. It is going to be a real generation shift in payments. Next, please. And why does it matter to us as operators, merchants, or attractions in Singapore? Let's just look at some of our visitors breakdown by country, right? And this is the Singapore visitorship in 2019 visitorship in million. Singapore has a total of, I believe, 15-16 million visitors, and this is STB data. China being the first largest, India being third, and Indonesia being number 3. Right, this is the number of visitors to Singapore, right? And then if you see what is their penetration? Next, please. If you look at China, 83% of their payments are wallets. Obviously, that's led by Tencent and WeChat. But even in India, there has been a significant shift in wallets payments of 45%, Indonesia, 39%, Philippines, 31%, Vietnam, 25%. The five largest market by population and almost in the rank in the top 10 within in visitors in Singapore are all using wallets as their main payment modes. And if you are not accepting wallets, then we potentially could be missing a whole bunch of clients or visitors who are coming to Singapore, right? Then obviously you have, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore, or, and you can tell how an outlier Singapore is with 50% actually using credit cards payments, right? Next, please. So that brings us to what is GlobalTix, right? What is GTPay? GTPay is a solution whereby it actually allows you to plug into your payment gateway to do multiple wallet acceptance. Where we have is that we allow you to direct to different payment wallets, cross-border wallet payments to capture your international visitors. This is, and some of our wallets that we accept is, next please, internationally, you have GCash in Philippines, QRIS in Indonesia, Touch and Go in Malaysia, OVO in Indonesia, and WeChat, Ali, and so forth. So this is actually a very localized payment methods that we are helping you, all the merchants, enable on our platform. Why, again, this is really important because I said, it helps you adopt and capture a client of your international visitors, which you would not otherwise been able to capture, right? So this is where we do, and I wanted to share with you a case study of a client that we have done. And next, please. The case study is this attraction in Malaysia. It is called the Blue Mansion. It is a heritage building in Penang, Malaysia. We have integrated our payment solution into their SaaS ticketing software, and then replacing their only credit card option with our GTPay, which allows them to accept wallet payments. And therefore, from our observation, within months of coming onto our platform, there are 40% incremental sales because 40% of these are wallet purchases in which their credit card only platform was not able to accept. And more importantly, 15% of these sales are paid via overseas wallets using Pay Now or Grab, or even using Indonesia or Thai bank transfers, right? And this is important because this market, this 40% of this market would have not been able to be captured by them had they only accepted credit card as a payment option, right? So finally, as we have pushed out this solution, we were also very fortunate to be recognized by Singapore Tourism Board as one of the Outstanding Business Innovation Awards for 2023. So if you're considering digital wallets and why is it important, this may be something that you want to consider. So with that, let me hand over back to Andre, and we can take questions at the end of it.
Great. Thank you so much for the great presentation, Chi. So as Chikong mentioned, if you have any questions about the adoption of digital wallets or how to really leverage them for your business, please do drop them into the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen, and we will get to those at the end of the event. Now I would like to bring another poll up before we start our next presentation. I would love to know, do you actively work on gathering customer feedback in your tourism or travel business? Please take a moment to submit your answers. Great. So I think we have the last few people responding now. Okay, just to share the answers of our poll. 81% of you are actively gathering customer feedback and use it to improve your services. Just 4% of you are not, but recognize the importance of gathering customer feedback and plan to start doing so. Another 4% are not and do not prioritize gathering customer feedback yet. So I think this next presentation will have some really interesting insights, both for those of you who are already collecting customer feedback and for those who haven't started yet. I'd love to welcome to the stage now Bram Harnets, who will tell us a little bit about how you can leverage emotional AI in order to help you with your customer feedback. Bram, welcome to the stage.
Excellent, thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to quickly share my screen. So, yes, thank you for that introduction, and good to see in the poll that most people are using customer feedback to some extent. And I hope that you learn something also about where we believe the industry is going towards. So we'll be taking you quickly through the past, present, and future of customer feedback and customer experiences. And at Vical, we transform guest experiences by providing completely effortless guest feedback. And we use smart sensors and emotional AI to do so. So my name is Bram, and I'm one of the co-founders of Vical. And I've experience in hospitality, I've experience with startups, and have a healthy obsession with optimizing customer experiences. On the other side, we have Daniel as my co-founder, and he's an expert in effective computing. Specifically, he used to be a professor focusing on emotion extraction from sound, which is the core of our solution. So customer feedback is nothing new. As a matter of fact, almost 4,000 years ago, the first on-record customer complaint was being sent by a person called Nani, and she wrote a complaint on a clay tablet to a merchant from who she bought copper ingots. And yeah, she had a complaint because the quality was not good. Since then, we've come a long way, and it took us a long time for like the first really big innovations in terms of customer feedback. And it always came with technological advancements. That's, for instance, the postal system, the telephone, the computer, and more recently, of course, we have the internet and mobile. But since 10, 20 years, we started using online reviews, of course, social media, online surveys. But since then, there have been slight improvements, some advancements, some things being done. But there's not really been a paradigm shift. While technology has really advanced and came a long ways now with AI, with big data, with IoT. And we at Vical believe that it's time for customer feedback to catch up and make that paradigm shift as well. But we also strongly believe at Vical it's not only about the available technology, we strongly believe in solving a real problem for an industry. And that problem being that most unsatisfied guests in all of your outlets and all of your venues, they still go unnoticed. As a matter of fact, only 5% of unsatisfied guests, they express verbally their dissatisfaction towards your staff. And that's great because you can still fix those situations. Now, the other 95%, they don't complain, but they are 40% likely of leaving a bad online review, and they're 91% likely of never returning to your venue or outlet ever again. And that's bad for business. So the current solutions like review scrapers, QR surveys, smiley terminals, they fall short on two aspects. That's one, they all require an action from your guests. So that means that 95 to 99% of people, they don't want to do it, so they simply don't. The other aspect is it's mostly hindsight data, so you can't actually fix anything in real time. So this is what Vical tries to do differently. So we're completely effortless, meaning your guest doesn't need to take any action. So we cover almost 100% of the population, and we predict staff in real time, and we enable your staff to react on the spot while the guest is still present. So you can actually prevent a bad online review, and you can make sure that customers go home happy. Now, we're not saying we're the everything tool just yet. So we do see a place for your reviews and for your surveys, and that's for getting detailed feedback, because Vical is all about big data and drawing conclusions from that. So when I talk about passive feedback, actually 82% of your customers, they're willing to share more data if in return they get a better experience. And this is what Vital does. So we provide completely passive feedback by using acoustic smart sensors that analyze the way that people speak. So not what is being said. We don't do anything with words, sentences, or the context of a conversation. We also do not record audio. The only thing that we analyze is acoustic features like intonation, speed of talking, tone of voice, volume, and we analyze a few hundred of those features. And then our AI transforms that into a classification of an emotion, so an emotional state of your guest, or a satisfaction level. And it's completely privacy friendly. And the crucial aspect there is that these acoustic features, they're not traceable back to any individual person. So that's very different from, for instance, a digital fingerprint, which is unique to every person, and you can link it to an individual. So what do we do with this information, with these features? Well, our AI transforms this, as I already mentioned, into an emotion classification or a satisfaction level. And that's what you see on the right side. And this data is continuous. It comes in all the time and from every guest on a unit level. And with a unit level, I mean, for instance, a table in your restaurant or a front desk. So we aim to go to many, many more guest touchpoints, but so far we're working on private dining rooms and front desks. So to give you an example of what this looks like, we prepared a little video for you, and we chose the heat map to visualize this. And this heat map is structured in 4 quadrants, of which the right side is happy emotions, positive, and the left side is negative emotions. And it's important to mention the analysis is purely done on audio, so acoustic features, not at all on the video, but we just added the video so you can better imagine what the situation is about. So without further ado, I'm just going to play this video.
Yourself. Allow us to eat. In fact, your non-eating is offending them.
Okay,
You gotta be that mad.
okay. Mom.
So you saw the heat map fill up on the right side of the square. So that means it's positive emotions. And I'm immediately going to play the negative version as well.
But I still have some salad.
Oh, well, would you like me to take the food back and bring it out?
Yeah, and let it dry out under the heat lamp. Just eat the food. Wait. Did that waitress listen to a word I said? This steak is medium rare. I asked for it medium, and I wanted extra gravy on my mashed potatoes.
So here, on the other hand, you saw it fill up on the left side, meaning negative emotions. And in this specific case, depending on the thresholds we set, but our system can generate an alert whenever emotions or satisfaction go to the negative side of the coin. And what we can do then is we have a native app that runs on Android devices, a wearable like this smartwatch, and it simply triggers an alert to staff whenever, for instance, satisfaction is low. Whenever we generate an alert, it's registered in our system, which you can see in the bottom. It registers when it was, the location, and the satisfaction level. And then when staff takes the alert on the watch, they press one button, and then it's also registered which staff member took the alert. Now, it's important to mention we only build the app. We don't actually sell the hardware, these wearables ourselves, but we just built the app for Android devices. This is, of course, what we're working on right now. But we also want to show you a little bit what our vision is of the future and where we want to go towards to, and where we believe the industry is and should go towards to. And that's highly focused on personalized guest experiences. So we're living in an experience economy, increasingly so, and we believe the experiences should be more and more personalized. And actually 71% of consumers don't actually only ask for personalization. It's not a nice to have. They demand that their experiences become more personalized. And we believe that businesses like yourselves can distinguish yourself from the competition based on this. So this shows the maturity curve of the level of personalization that industries and organizations provide to their customers in terms of experiences. And as you can see, hospitality is not even doing that bad in terms of relative to other industries. It's only surpassed by healthcare. But as you can also see, all of the industries and basically all of the organizations right now in the world, they're all in the engagement-focused level of providing personalized experiences. So what this means is that you're probably getting quite some data from multiple channels, from multiple systems like your reviews, your POS, your PMS systems, your OTAs, and you can do quite some interesting stuff with that. But it's also mainly focused on groups of customers, and the actions you can take is mainly targeted, and it's mainly reactionary after the fact. So where we really want to go towards to, and where Vital wants to push this industry towards to, is to go to an empathy-focused level of personalization. So this means comprehensive data continuously, all the time, and to an individual level, and predict things so that you can be proactive and prevent things. And to an individual level, meaning making tailor-made advices to any individual, not only based on, for instance, their past buying behavior, but also based on how they're feeling, what their satisfaction level is. And how we want to do that is roughly this. So in terms of a very rough timeline, so of course the past and still the present is most companies are still using active and reactionary feedback. So what we're working on right now is passive and predictive feedback, and making sure that you can actually fix things in real time. So quick service recovery. But we want to go beyond that. We don't only want to measure an emotional state or a satisfaction level. We want to measure it, and we want to automate and integrate an immediate response to that. And not only in terms of sending an alert, but integrated in every guest touchpoint. So think about dining, think about the front desk, the reception desk, but also think about any voice-activated service, or maybe even apply this technology in your hospitality robots that I've seen a lot in Singapore. And the end goal is to have empathic interaction at all touchpoints. Now, this is still some years away, but this is our vision, and this is what we want to work towards to, and want to push the industry towards to. So that was it from my side. Thank you very much, and I'm very happy to answer any questions during the Q&A. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Bram, for that fascinating presentation. Again, to our audience, if you have any questions for Bram, please do drop them into the Q&A section now, and we will get to them at the end of our session. But first, I would love to launch another poll before we get into our next presentation. So we'll just pull that up. So, have you ever used live streaming or interactive videos for your tourism or travel business? Now, please take a moment to fill in your answers. So I think a few of you are just putting in your last answers. Great. So just to go over the responses, interestingly, 58% of you have not used live streaming or interactive videos yet. 26% of you have and often use live streaming or interactive videos for your business. And 16% have used it once or twice. So that's a quite an interesting divide here. I think it's in between people who are really actively using it quite often and who haven't even started yet. So I think that this next presentation will be really interesting for both sides of the audience. I would love to welcome to the stage our next speakers, who are from the Be Live team. Please welcome Kenneth and Youngman.
Hey, Andrea. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having us. Pleasure to be here. I'm Kenneth, and Youngman is with me. I'm part of the team at Be Live, and I'm very excited to share with you what we think is the future of travel retail commerce. So I'm just going to quickly jump to my screen. All right, just to check if everything is working. All right. Okay. So, I mean, this is something that we've seen recurring, right? The way we interact has changed forever due to obviously our experiences, our collective experiences with the pandemic. Yeah. A couple of years ago, this kind of interaction where we have webinars with 60 people joining would have been unthinkable. Right now, it's just become the norm, right? So this is something that we keep dearly in heart. It is actually driven by the adoption of video. So if you put out your phone and open up the YouTube app or the even your Facebook or Instagram apps right now, you'll notice a Reels or Shorts section that has been driving major growth for all these platforms, right? So it's not only TikTok. On all of these social media platforms, short form video and live stream video has been the key, common factor where consumers spend a huge amount of the time on. Yeah, it's actually enhanced by the fact that we discovered 82% of internet usage was for online videos last year. This is just going to continue growing, right? So moving to consumer behavior being dominated by video, it is natural to think that transactions and conversations will happen on a video stream as well, a short video or a live video stream. Yeah. So this is interesting to us. 62% of Gen Zs and millennials making a purchase on brands live stream. We have a glimpse in the future with China's huge obsession with the live stream industry. Yeah. So we think that in the future, all forms of transaction and interaction will evolve or have its evolution started from a video. Yeah. So the opportunity lies within the fact that consumerism is driven by interactive video, and our customers like Rakuten, Zalora, Trendio, which is the Amazon of Turkey, have already adopted video at scale. So I'm going to bring you back a little bit to where Twitch started with their gaming videos. We are seeing more and more, not only social platforms or e-commerce platforms, but two outlier logos on this slide show you that even consumer brands, like retail brands, like a Uniqlo and Tumi, are adopting video, short video, interactive video as part of their marketing efforts. So beyond this year, we see more and more SMBs and retail brands adopting this kind of interaction for their marketing campaigns as well. Direct to consumer is the other opportunity. It's a huge thing in the United States and India. We see this trend being adopted in Asia over the next 2 years as well. Right. So global D2C commerce, 350 billion. Right. You see a lot of sales being driven directly on Nike's.com app and also Nike.com and their app. Similarly for Adidas and L'Oreal as well has driven their consumer spending, the marketing spend to their D2C platforms as well. Right. So if businesses have a video marketing strategy, right, they are actually quite reliant on these platforms that all of us use: Facebook Live, TikTok, Instagram Live, YouTube. So it is natural that you actually lose a lot of data because all this data resides on this platform, right? You lose site traffic. You are unable to gather the insights required to do retargeting or marketing campaigns. And it's quite impossible, not impossible, but quite taxing for platforms or even new startups or established ones as well to build their own video solutions, right? So that's where we come in. We have been very fortunate to work with some of the largest platforms and brands across the world. I've mentioned Trendio, which has 40 million monthly active users in Turkey, Rakuten in Japan. In Africa, even the two largest e-commerce platforms, Jumia and Konga, are our customers. Closer to home, we have Bukalapak in Indonesia, we have Grab in Singapore, and the rest of Asia as well. So a couple of use cases that we think is really relevant to how consumers will interact with commerce video-driven commerce videos in the future. So with Trendio and Zalora, we see a huge amount of effort being placed to drive consumers from the Instagram or Facebook social media pages directly to their app, right? We've seen them drive really good conversions as well, not only engagement, right? Directly on their brand-owned live streaming video deployment, right? So next, Grab is a platform that is primarily known for services, but we've seen instances where they actually host live streams to promote their food delivery services for KFC and Pizza Hut. So what you see right here is a live stream that is hosted on Grab, on the Grab app with a technology powered by BeLive, and is sponsored by KFC and Pizza Hut, right? So what happens here is a influencer that is engaged by KFC or Pizza Hut will live stream on Grab, and the viewers are able to purchase directly from the live stream and send virtual gifts to the influencers on the live stream as well. Yeah. So, our customers are experimenting with a lot of travel bookings, not only for not only for flights or hotels, right, but even experiences that's very Klook-esque, where you can book experiences for, let's say, fishing or tours, right, all through the live stream / interactive video deployment as well. Yeah. So moving on to the most important part of why a brand or why a platform would require their own solution, right? Examples would be Changi Airport Group. So Changi Airport Group, being a huge retail-focused entity, right? They want to drive traffic to their own website, similarly to Suntec, which is a mall, right? And they have been successful in their Facebook live streams, but they are always asking the question of, how do I actually know who watches a Facebook live stream? How do I retarget them? And this question, propagates to TikTok or Instagram as well. They have no idea who is actually watching the live stream on these platforms, right? Hence, by building their own solutions, they're able to gather, if you notice on the portrait video, Suntec City has gathered almost 4,000 viewers on their own website live stream, which is pretty decent result considering it's only in Singapore. Yeah. All right, next. So we we've worked with many different partners, and we're very proud to be an IMD accredited partner, which means that we are practically the first pick for all live stream / short video related deployments for B2B in Singapore. So happy to progress any conversations, and please reach out to either me or Yongman if you are deciding to start your own live stream video or short video journey. Yeah. So I want to talk about a little bit about the future of commerce and retail, right? So we look at Grab, and I want to highlight the fact that Grab doesn't only sell products, they leverage the power of social interaction via virtual gifting. So this concept is not new. Twitch has popularized it with the idea of donations or subscriptions to gaming streamers. Here, we see this in China being taking flight in a different way, right? You can actually send virtual gifts in the form of stickers to influencers that you really like. So these virtual gifts, how Grab uses them, they actually allow you to redeem virtual gifts using Grab points. So Grab points are, they end up the balance sheet, right? If you're Grab, if you're CFO of Grab, you probably don't want too many Grab points in the float. So we have managed to redeem almost $300,000 worth of Grab points from the deployment of virtual gift feature. Yeah. Next, Hyperlife, which is a prominent event streaming platform in Singapore. So we have collaborated with Hyperlife and NTUC to actually produce this live stream that focuses on fundraising, right? So the fundraising that not only comes from the virtual gift component, right? Throughout this program, right, viewers of the show can actually vote for their next favorite song request. It's a Ge-Tai format, right? So the viewers are able to vote for their favorite singers, and also all of the proceeds are donated to a charitable organization. So this is another deployment of a live video, interactive video, which is highly interesting. So what do we see next in video, and specifically interactive video? Sentiment analysis is something that we are very bullish about. So I'm sure most of us here remember residing in Singapore, remember this fateful day when PM Lee talked about the lockdown and how long it will last, the very first lockdown. So during this live stream, we deployed our proprietary solution that analyzes every single comment in real time, right? So very similar to what Abraham introduced with Recall, but this time only for live stream, we are able to deduce the number of every single comment's sentiment and tag it to a persona that we create based on what kind of comments the viewer makes. So in this context, obviously we can deduce a commenter to be a detractor, a promoter or neutral observer. But if you apply it to a retail / commerce context, if you're running a travel live stream, for example, hey, do you want to visit this location? You can book this location directly here, and the travel sponsor or the travel influencer talks about the products that are being sold at the location. So if they are at let's say a clothing brand in Japan, in Tokyo, right? They are very famous for many indie brands. A viewer can ask the influencer, hey, do they have this brand, do they have this dress in black and in size M, right? So with this comment, we can then form an impression, form a persona with the keywords black, dress, and size M. So we assume that perhaps the viewer likes black, perhaps he or she likes to wear a dress or a size M. And then we plug them into a persona, a house husband, a housewife, or student. And using this comment data and tagging with transaction data of the platform, we are able to plug into any platforms, be it TikTok or social media platforms, central data platforms, to understand exactly how many personas of a student, personas of a house husband exist in a customer's CDP. So it's incredibly powerful. This can be used to make further recommendations of what kind of products to push, right? So sentiment analysis is something we're really bullish about. All right, finally, I'm just going to just let this video run and I'll comment after.
Hello, Tcube webinar viewers. I'm speaking on behalf of Kenneth Tan from Be Live Technology. I am not a real person. In the future of video, you don't even need a real human to produce content.
Yeah, so this was produced in a matter of 2 minutes. So I just typed a script, and then this startup called Synthesia produced a video. So disclaimer, we don't partner with Synthesia, but we have a partner that is able, in Korea, that's able to generate very, very powerful virtual humans as well. And a big gap or a big ask for, let's say, your marketing manager would be to find a great influencer or a great piece of content to create, so you can upload on a TikTok short form video platform or whatnot, right? So what we're seeing in the future is virtual streamers or virtual content creators solving this problem. Yeah, not entirely, but a complement, right, to this not epidemic, but a lack of great content creation, right, at an accessible rate. So yeah, this is very exciting. We at Be Live, we are very focused on bringing the next billion viewers to the platforms that leverage on video first commerce and video first travel retail. Yeah, so very excited to see what the future holds for us. Happy to start any conversations, and thank you for listening. Happy to take any questions as well.
Great. Thank you so much for that presentation, Kenneth. Now, I'd like to invite all of our speakers onto the stage. This is also actually my favorite part of the events, the Q&A portion. Now, if you have any questions for any of our speakers, please do put them into the Q&A tab right now, and we will be taking all of these questions. So let me just check that we have everybody here. Yes. Great. So first, Chikong, I have a question for you. I wanted to ask while I was listening to your really interesting presentation about digital wallets. Now I'm wondering, what are some of the security concerns that businesses should be aware of when adopting digital wallets? And what are some of the things they can do to mitigate that?
Well, I think from a security perspective, right, wallet payments are no different from credit cards. So all the payment gateways that we work with are all PCI compliant, and they will keep the records, and it's all run by the licensed entity in their respective countries. So for example, in Singapore, it will be licensed by MAS, and in Thailand, it will be licensed by the Bank of Thailand. So that is pretty much fairly secure, and is all governed pretty kosher in terms of that. What I, however, would like to add is that actually from a fraud perspective, merchants might be interested to know that right now there is almost no chargeback for wallet payments, because you need to be present there in order for you to make that payment. So you can't claim that you did not receive the service, unlike a credit card, whereby there is many instances whereby the credit card has been misused, and the consumer says that I was never there, and there was a lot of chargeback involved. So I think wallets payments now, you need to use your mobile phone and to authorize the payment. And there's just no way that you can say that I'm not there at all. So yeah. In fact, I think that's a big plus for merchants who are using accepting digital wallets.
Oh, definitely for merchants and also for customers themselves. Like as you said, it's much harder to get access to a phone and everything. So that's really interesting to hear that also from the security side. This new evolution is becoming much more secure. That's great. Now, Bram, I would love to talk to you a little bit more about your presentation as well. I was very interested in the portion where you were talking about the future of empathy-focused data and how it'll be more reactionary. I was wondering if you could maybe give us a very practical example of how that might work within the tourism industry. Maybe, for example, in a restaurant, how would reactionary AI with empathy-focused data help in some situation?
Yeah, sure. And to be clear, that's what we're where we want to go towards to. It's not what we're doing right now yet, but that's where we see the industry going towards to. And empathy focus basically means you can't yet teach an AI or a robot to have feelings, but you can teach it to recognize feelings in a human and then react accordingly. So with reactive, you say, but we actually want to be proactive, predict and prevent things. But I meant integrated and automated, so that we don't necessarily need to enable staff anymore, but that everything is automated and integrated in every guest touch point, and that every single piece of information about this specific individual, this guest, is taken into account, so that you can also get a different answer for the same person at a different moment of the day, where that person might feel sad, or that person might feel happy, or that person might be dissatisfied or satisfied, and you get an answer accordingly. And how that exactly comes about, it can be at many different guest touch points. It can be enabling staff as well, but it can also be through voice activated services, or maybe even in the future, as I mentioned, these hospitality robots, I've seen them a lot in Singapore. Maybe you want them to respond in a sort of more humane way, as opposed to only just giving like standard answers to standard questions.
Definitely. And I think that'll also be a really interesting solution for the tourism industry in particular, which is really facing a lot of staffing shortages right now. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll definitely be interesting to, one, help businesses direct their staff towards the customers who really need them most. And then also in the future, as you said, even have, AI kind of help to fill in some gaps there. So that'll be very interesting to watch for sure. Also, Kenneth, I would love to bring you into the conversation here. For you, I was wondering, do you think you could give us maybe 3 best practices that you see for live streaming? I know a lot of our audience has not yet started to leverage this, the power of live streaming. And so for those who are just starting on their journey, what are some of the things that you see really working best in terms of, for example, maybe the timing of the live stream, or maybe how many people are presenting, or I wonder if you could give us some insights into that.
Yeah, all right. So Yongman, please chime in, right, if you can. So what we are noticing is live stream operates very much like prime time television, where the standard applies, right? When you're home from a hard day at work and you have access to good Wi-Fi connectivity, it's a good time for you to watch a live stream, because if you can watch a live stream on the train, I guess, but it's very high data consumption, right? So, most of our viewers or customers' viewers come at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., right? So maybe I'll draw an example to Shopback, a customer who has been super successful in running their own direct-to-consumer live streams on the Shopback app. They exclusively run their streams late, which is 9 to 11 p.m., sometimes a bit earlier. And the content they produce is really, really authentic, right? They don't promote or they don't sell. Rather, they offer gamified experiences. They run trivia shows, they run food reviews. And at no point of time do they encourage purchase of a particular product very strongly. Obviously, they talk about the merits and sometimes demerits of the product. But yeah, I think authenticity is a very strong tool that a live stream has as compared to other edited forms of content, video content. Short videos are great, right? Short videos, you see the best portions of a product or brand, right? But in a live stream, you see, similarly when I'm speaking now, I fumble and I stumble. And that's part of who I am, right? And that's part of who a live streamer is as well, right? It's very authentic. And that charms the viewers. It really resonates with viewers when they want to root for the live streamer when he or she fumbles. So authenticity, timing, and Yoman, please add on if you have the last point. If I
I think stepping on to that, consistency is definitely a key as well. From what we see with our customers and partners who have been doing live stream for a while, usually the viewership, the audience may sort of like grow through time. So it's not like a magic pill where, you go live once and then everything's, all glory and it's all settled, but rather it would be a consistent thing that you do. For example, tapping onto kind of use cases as well. Every single Tuesday night, for example, you are building that habit into your audience base, the users that you're interacting with, you are continuously growing that loyalty with your audience as well. So every Tuesday night, 8 p.m., they will tune in. It's something that we constantly work together with our customers, including Changi Airport Group as well. So what they did was every Thursday night during the campaign period, they wanted to, it was COVID, they wanted to shout out to their audience that, hey, it's COVID, we know that you can't travel, but we have e-commerce site, welcome, to come on and shop for non-travelers. So they leverage on live stream as one of the tools to, shout out to the audience. And in order to get the words out, they went live for consecutively every week, every single Tuesday for 2 months straight. Yeah. So we see the growth for every single live stream, I think was around 70% every time. There's the consistent growth from there. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's really interesting statistics to hear. So, and very interesting for all of our audience here who are thinking about diving into live streaming. As they mentioned during their presentation, it's really, I think, the future. I think a lot of young travelers especially are really focused on video and live streaming. So I think that's really the best way to reach them. So please keep those best practices in mind. And I would love to thank all of our wonderful speakers that we had today on our during our event for all of your great presentations. If anybody had any further questions for any of them, please do feel free to reach out to them individually. I know they would love to get your questions and to have some follow-up conversations. And thank you, of course, to your audience for joining us today for this great event. I would just like to say, if you could please take a moment to fill out a satisfaction survey. We would love to get your feedback on this event and see how we can make the next edition even more relevant and useful for you and your business. So if you could just fill out your answer, which will pop up on the screen here. Great. And while you are filling out that satisfaction survey, also, if you are a tourism business who is going through a digital transformation at the moment, and you would like to see how Tcube could help you in this journey, please do stick around. We will have a QR code show up at the end here. You can see it on your screen, actually. And so you can use that QR code to get in touch with the team at Tcube to go through any questions you might have, maybe discuss what are some different ways they can help you in addressing some of your challenges there or creating a great roadmap or strategy moving forward. So thank you everyone for participating today. We really appreciate it, and we hope that we will see you again at the next edition. Goodbye.